All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of SaberSim's DFS office hours. It is Tuesday, February 20th of 2024. And just looking ahead here, we have an 8-game NHL main slate later this evening. And then we have NBA and PGA returning on Thursday. So I hope you guys are enjoying this little break here before we jump into the second half of the NBA season. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at SaberSim. This is a show where we go over how to use the SaberSim app. Second, post it live in the YouTube chat. Third way, post it in the office hours channel in our Discord server. If you're not in our Discord and want to get access to that channel, there is a link in the description of this video. You also get access to our similar channels, individual sport channels, and you get access to the rest of the SaberSim team here. So can't say enough good things about the Discord. With that said, we do have one question here to get us kicked off. If no more questions roll in, I'm probably going to roll into a NHL tutorial here, just because, you know, there's no NBA. People probably playing NHL for the first time. A lot of good contests over in the NHL lobby this week. So I figured it would be a good time to do that. But if you guys have questions, today is a good day to get them in, and I can spend some extra time answering them. So going to get SaberSim pulled up, and we are going to hit this first question that came in from Sam in the office hours channel. Question says, is there a way to identify which SaberScore to use based on the buy-in of a contest? Okay, so this is a good question. So if I'm on this NHL slate, right? I'm just going to build some lineups here. So based on your build settings, looking at style, entry limit, and entrance, the builder is going to select the correct SaberScore to use. It's mostly looking at the number of games on the slate. The builder understands, hey, there are, X games on this slate here. So it looks like there are 8 games on the main slate. And then it's going to look at the entrance. So those are like the two big things that it's looking at. And then we could see that in the post build here. So after these lineups build, we'll look at our SaberScores, but SaberScore is broken down into a couple different buckets. The first one is small slate versus large slate versus single game. So single game is, exactly how it sounds. There's one game on the slate. Small slate is any slate where there are 2 to 5 games on the slate. And then large slate is anything with 6 or more games. That is how we are identifying those different things here. So then, lineups are built. I go into my sorting metrics. I click on SaberScore drop down. That's the first thing I see. Hey, single slate, single game, small slate, large slate. Then within each of the small slates and large slates, we break it down further into the number of entries. So we have 4 different SaberScores, one for 100 to 1,000 entries, one for 1,000 to 10,000 entries, 10,000 to 50,000 entries, and then 50,000 plus. So this will reflect the number of entrants that you see in the build setting. So 100 to 1K, 1K to 10K, 10K to 50K, and then 50K plus. So that is how it's done. That's how it determines small slate versus large slate. This is not taking into account the stakes of your contest, which is something that, we understood was a limitation of it. This is why we call SaberScore like the 80-20 of contest sims, because although it captures a lot of these things, although it was built using contest sims, there are still some things that it misses. And one of those is the stakes of the contest, which is why we created for some of our other sports like NBA, like MLB, like NFL, the 13 different buckets of ownership, because we understood that stakes were important. Like when you go and look at our field lineups for NBA, you're going to see that, hey, we have low stakes, we have medium stakes, we have high stakes, we have flagship. So all of those things come into account on the ultimate plan with the contest sims. But that's a breakdown of SaberScore for you there. All right, so that was our question to get us rolling here. So I'm going to roll into NHL tutorial. I kind of wanted to walk through one just like really end to end here. So I'm going to start a fresh build. I'm going to get rid of this first one that I did. And first thing I'm going to do is reserve entries, right? I'm going to go on my phone. I'm going to go on the desktop. And I'm going to go to DraftKings and I'm going to reserve an entry, okay? And then after I've reserved entries, built a lineup, however you want to do it, come back to SaberSim, go to the contest tab, go to download template file from DraftKings. You're going to click this green hyperlink, and then that's going to download a file directly to your computer. So in mine, it goes up here on the top, which you can't see, but I'm going to drag this file, drop it into this box here, and then boom, now my file is here. I have one entry into this dime time, just for an example here. So then I'm going to go to my build, and then first thing I'm going to do is make 2 small adjustments to projections. I don't have any reservations about hockey projections or anything like that. So I'm approaching this as if, hey, I'm only playing this during the All-Star break here. I still want to play some DFS. Not too familiar with hockey. Going to kind of trust the Sims here. So going to make my 2 adjustments to projections. Going to go to my settings. I'm only going to build 500 lineups for this example. I'm going to leave my salaries the same. I'm not going to touch any of that. I'm going to set up my entry limit. So it's a 20 max, but it's 1K to 10K range here. So sliders come down. I'm not going to set any rules here, but if you guys have some time, go and watch the How to Beat NHL DFS in 2024 video on our YouTube channel. Under playlists, you go to How to Beat NHL DFS in 2023. And then you go to this How to Beat NHL DFS in 2023 video. In this video, Scott does talk about having at least a 3 stack in your lineups. So I don't mind you including a rule like that. In fact, we even have this default rule, don't use skaters against opposing goalie. I'm totally fine turning that on. And then if I wanted to include a I'm just going to leave that one rule, don't use skaters against opposing goalies on, and then I'm going to build some lineups. So either way you want to do that is totally fine. No problems at all. But then we're going to kick off some lineups here, and then I'm going to set this up, just kind of scroll over here to the side. In case you guys didn't know, your exposure column is hidden by default here, and then you kind of scroll over to the right using the scroll bar on the bottom. And then the exposure column is going to tell you, hey, what % of each player do you have in your set of 20 lineups? So remember, my own is the ownership used to build your lineups. And then exposure is the % of lineups a player is in your lineups. So now I'm sorted by exposure descending. So this is showing me the players that I have the most exposure to. And I can do this 2 ways, right? So if I'm on one of the standard, advanced, pro plans, I stick with SaberScore here and just use that as my default sorting metric. Or I could create a contest sim by right-clicking on my contest, either in the contest tab or in the save to contest pop-up. Select add contest, save those settings. Now this run contest sim green button is available for me. Just going to click that here and run my contest sim. The simplest version of this is that contest sims are a way to get additional / better sorting metrics for your lineups here. So I'm just running this. And I'm only playing a single lineup here. I just wanted to have a CSV. So, just change the number of my lineups to however many lineups you're playing here. Going to change my sorting metric to risk-adjusted ROI, which is our recommended metric here. And, if I'm happy with this lineup, then I'm going to go to save to my contest. I'm going to click save. And then this download selected entries button is going to become green. I'm going to click download the entries. The entries get downloaded to my computer, and then I go and I upload them to the site. So that is like an NHL process end to end here. But good question there. Or, it wasn't even a question. I just wanted to do a demo. Looks like Sam had a follow-up, and he said that was just an explanation of SaberScore. I guess there isn't a way, and the only option is upgrading to Ultimate. So the only way to account, so like there aren't SaberScores for stakes, basically, is what it is. There are SaberScores for slate size. There are SaberScores for the size of your contest. There is not like a SaberScore for the stakes of your contest. Now, when you want to start including the stakes of your contest and taking those things into account, then yes, it would be time to upgrade to Ultimate. All right. Next question here from Jay Stanger. Question says, is there still a way to see overall player exposure across all your contests? I know it used to show up in the contest tab, but I haven't been able to find it anymore. I like being able to check MME and single entry exposure as a whole. as a last quick check when I do multiple separate builds. So yes, you can do this. Once you fill your lineups, once you are done with all your builds, go to the contest tab. And then all you need to do here is just pop out the players tab and sort by exposure. So I just have the one lineup in the one contest, but as long as all of these contests in the my contest option are checked, then you're going to see all of your exposures together. And then if you were to uncheck one of your contests, then those exposures would update. So as long as you have a list of contests, as long as they are all checked, then they are all going to be available in this players tab. So just pop open the players tab and you're all set. All right, jumping over to the YouTube chat. Question from Ryan. Hey, Andrew, if you win 1K prize in another sport when you already have a free month, does the extra free month automatically get added to your account? I'm not 100% an expert on the winner's circle guidelines here, but honestly, the best thing that you can do is just reach out to our support team, support@sabersim.com, and we will be able to better explain the winner circle rules and winnings for you there. So if you win, congrats, man. It sounds like you won. So just hit us up, support@sabersim.com, or you can just post it on Twitter and tag us @SaberSim, and our team will get back to you one way or another, and we'll let you know how that works. But I do not want to misspeak because that is not something I directly handle, so I'm not an expert on those rules. But all right, we are all caught up on questions in both Discord and the YouTube chat, and we did do a demo here building some lineups for NHL. It is a little bit of a slower week here with the anticipation and build up back to NBA season. So I know there's like only NHL to play, but there's plenty of good contests here in the lobby, guys. I was taking a peek here. They're still running pretty solid contests all week here. So check these out if you guys want to get in on some NHL action. We're very happy with our NHL model. And so I hope that, you guys have some luck in the NHL streets. But until tomorrow, I'll be right back here Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So good luck, everybody. Take care. Thanks. Bye.